Well, I survived. I survived it. Do you know what it is? I think I'm just going to go start doing some videos for the Japanese market and just do little furry pussycats instead. Nah, that's not me. Yeah, we're on. Wait. Well, that's been an interesting start to the year, hasn't it? Who'd have thought that last vlog would create so much conversation? It's crazy, isn't it? It's really crazy. I'll come back to it. I'm going to address it at the end of the video. I've got other things that are more relevant that I want to say, I think are relevant. So I'm going to come back to that at the end of the video. In the famous words of a vlogger who loves the island, stick around, viewers. Stick around till the end. Last night I was at work and I don't start till 9 o'clock in Dillon's Bar. But I got down there about 7:45 as always. But I got there on purpose yesterday, for a little bit earlier, because hopefully, like the rest of the nation, I'm going to go on here actually. I became an expert in darts and a massive fan of the new prodigy that is Luke Littler. Did you watch it? It's phenomenal, isn't it? It's really good. I think the angle's wrong on here. Whoa. Hey, stop. That's better. It was phenomenal, wasn't it? It was brilliant. I'm no expert. First came to prominence in my eyes only about a week and a half ago. What he was up to, what he was doing. This kid, 16-year-old, 16. He doesn't look 16, does he? It's really crazy. He doesn't look 16. He even got questioned his age, which was ridiculous. But he's did phenomenal, really. Did amazing, phenomenal. And you know what was nice? I turned up at the bar last night about 7:30, 7:45. The bar was packed. It was packed. It was packed full to the brim. Men, women, children. But everybody else was there clearly wanting to watch the final of the darts. Now I go on at 9 o'clock, so I don't think it finished till about 10 o'clock last night. So the bar's the bar. We made a decision, said, look, you know, let's leave it. Still not happy. Let's leave the darts on, no commentary, but we'll just put the background music and leave it on. And oh, so glad that we did. So glad that we did. There's a couple of things that I just want to mention about that sort of stuff. I actually thought, and the reason why we thought the thing to leave the TVs on and let the final play out was because if he'd have won, I think what we'd have witnessed, even though we did witness already, but I think we'd have witnessed an amazing moment in history. History was being made, and he just couldn't get over the line. But history was 100% being made. It reminded me very close to the Boris Becker moment, where Boris Becker won Wimbledon at 17. Before my time, it was most probably a Pelé moment, where Pelé turns up at the World Cup. For me, more relevance was a Rooney moment. But in my sport, where I come from, it was a Tiger Woods moment. We'd heard of Tiger Woods long before the mainstream public, just like the darts world have heard of Luke Littler before us, the mainstream public. And it was just a question of a prodigy taking his rightful place on the podium. And it was just at 16 years of age, it was just phenomenal to see. What I did notice though was the guy that won in his semi-final, he actually won his semi-final 6-0, because I was watching that the night previous as well. And I actually genuinely think that 6-0 was where he was actually putting out his statement of, watch out, here I am. You know, I think this kid's time's running out. And don't get me wrong, Luke Littler put up a fantastic fight and a fantastic competition last night. But I always think that the other Luke had a little bit more of the edge, even to the point when he was down a couple. I was like, yeah, I don't think this kid's down and out yet. And it was amazing. And also, speaking about the winner, it was a fantastic victory for mental health, because the guy's been struggling. The winner, Luke, has been struggling with anxiety and mental health, and he said without the help of his family and stepsons and stepdaughter, he would never have got through it. So me, typical being me, is I actually went on YouTube yesterday and I watched a 15-minute documentary on Lukeller. And you know, as I mentioned before, to the darting world, it is no surprise whatsoever that he ended up on that hockey yesterday in the final. Kid won 5 tournaments last year, won 5 tournaments into the seniors ranks as well. So it's just like, he was becoming a professional anyways. He'd hit the enough to get onto the dart circuit anyway this year, so it was just a matter of time. But it was fantastic. I remember my first tournament. I was 17 when I entered my first tournament. I was in golf, and I was stood on the tee at Sale Golf Club, and I was absolutely in my pants. I can't tell you how nervous I was. It was ridiculous. And it's just hilarious to see the difference of mental ability between a 16-year-old like him to a 17-year-old like me. The thing that I remember was when I was 14, we had a pro-am where the professionals turned up and played at our golf course, and we had the likes of Greg Norman turn up and Nick Faldo. And I'm watching these lads when I'm 14, 15, wanting to be a pro golfer, and in my head I knew I was never going to be good enough. I knew at 14, 15, I knew I was going to hit a talent, but never be good enough to do what I wanted to do fully, because these guys were just like in a completely different league. It was like watching the Greek gods play. And he's had that in his own world as well at 13, 14. And he's just gone, yeah, I'm having you. And I think that is just massively, massively commendable. I think it's brilliant. Again, like all superstars, let's hope he goes down the right route. But I think this kid's got his head. I think, there's a couple of movements that he made. Oh, this bloody dog. There's a little chihuahua at the top there, just like he warns a bigger dog down the hill. But it's all going to kick off. 2 seconds. There you go. There you go. It's almost like a warning signal. Oh yeah. Roll up. It's almost like a warning signal. I think what's interesting about Luke Littler is that science and technique in all sports now got involved, and his technique just looked flawless. When you could see he's on there, and he's nerves of steel, man. Absolutely ridiculous. It's brilliant. I loved every minute of it. I thought, as I said before, I think history was in the making there, and I think everybody will remember that time. And if he'd lifted it, wow. But there's more for him to come anyway. More for him to come. One of the comments on the last video, somebody said, "Can't work out where you live, but it looks a right dump." Yeah, mate. Yeah. Terrific dump. Yeah, I live in a right dump. Oh, that's right. Somebody else said maybe if I didn't do dog walking videos, I might get more followers. I'm going to address that later. But I think Rolo might be a bit upset. Now the start of the new year, it's the start of people always normally tend to think of holidays. A lot of you guys, or a lot of people think about coming to Tenerife, which is fantastic. But on January the 1st, me and Shelley, we just went out on our day off, went out for a quiet drink. We had a great Christmas and New Year. We went out for a quiet drink in our village. And we were about 300 metres away from the house. And we got this view. Look at this view, man. And when you get a view like that, you go, where on earth should you go on holiday? I put it on a community post about 3-4 days ago, just thanking everybody who got involved in the last video. It is something that's really important, and I feel it's very close to my heart. So I just want to thank you. This moment you start talking, it gets windier. It's like, wait to get around the corner. Should be alright with the mics, I think. Just want to address a couple of things really about it, which I feel to be important, and hopefully dispel any ideas that people are watching it for the wrong reasons. Can I just say the amount of positive comments that were in agreement with me were just, overwhelming, absolutely overwhelming. There's a lot of people that's got a lot of love for the island, and could also see the direction that certain video makers were going, and basically we're getting a bit fed up like myself. So if you're one of those people who are in agreement, thank you so much. Can I also thank the people who were in disagreement with me and commented in a structured and adult way, where it was possible then to debate an argument or debate a topic without name calling, slandering, honest open debate, which was refreshing. You lot know who you are, who's done it, because we were backwards and forwards. I tried to not remove any comments from the comment section unless they were just downright abusive. People who disagreed, just left them there. Look at this, man, look at this. Apparently I live in a multi-million pound dump because somebody in the comments said this area looks a bit of a dump. Multi-million pound walkway, mate, just off the equator with an island in front. Please send me a picture of your Palm Beach villa holiday home. Don't get me wrong, there's also the ridiculously stupid, which I'm not even going to entertain. I'll just delete, move on, block. Got to be careful with blocking, like, got to be careful. I'll explain the reason why in a second. There's actually a point in one of the comments that I remember, is that I was just jealous. Do I want 100,000 subscribers? Yeah, of course I do. Because that's the challenge, that's part of the fun. Do I want your 100,000 subscribers? No. 100% not, no. The reason being is very simple. You've got to find your own niche, you've got to find your own people, and you've got to find your own subscribers, because if I wanted your 100,000 subscribers, I'm getting preconditioned people who are already in a mental mindset, who's been cleansed, where if anything they say they disagree from gets deleted, so the only people that agree are then the followers of the people that are creating the videos. So that means, in essence, that if you don't agree, you're gone. There's no democracy in that, is there? Hence the reason why I try and leave the comments on, whether they agree or disagree. I try to leave them on from mine as well. Does that not create a Hitler state, where if you're not in line, you get moved away? If you don't agree, you get blocked. If you don't agree, and this is, you know, this happened for me, or I started to see this when I actually read 1984. As you remember in a previous vlog, I said I've read 1984, and at the time I didn't understand why people were going on so much about it, but now I do understand. It creates an Orwellian state, where if you've got to get in line, and if you don't get in line, you're not part of it. Well, I want free thinkers, hopefully like you, who have the intelligence to free think and free speech, because then I think that creates a world where people move forward. That's what I think. A bit deep, I know. Right, he's going to pull here, so I'm just going to get past this bit and then we're going to carry on, okay? There's just a little bit there where he thinks he's going to go to the sea, so he starts pulling like mad to try and get to the sea, even though we're not going today. What some of you guys may not realise is, on YouTube, there's actually behind the scenes part, which is called YouTube Studio. Really good, informative, lots of lessons on how to improve your videos, how to improve the quality, how to make them more attractive, how to improve the viewer count of it. And one of the words that keeps coming up, which you might have maybe heard for the first time in the last video, was the word clickbait. Clickbait. Make your videos clickbaity. Now YouTube actively encourages that. They do. They say the more clickbaity your video is, the more chance people have got to click on it, the more chance people get to view it, the more chance you get to your channel to grow, because they think success on YouTube is the more subscribers you get, because that means more ad revenue for YouTube, which means they make more money. Hence the reason why the line's a little bit slanted, I suppose. Let me just sort him out here. First things first, let me just get something straight. There is absolutely nothing wrong in a clickbait video. Nothing wrong at all in it. In certain circumstances. In 95% of the circumstances, there's nothing wrong with it. If you had a film like Avatar, the world's #1 box office film ever, but it was on YouTube, and you had a bad title and a bad thumbnail, and it wasn't clickbait enough, nobody'd watch it. So in that essence, clickbait is extremely important on YouTube. Hence the reason why you get clickbait titles, hence the reason why I use clickbait titles. I'm a studier of a genre, of a hobby, so I tend to study it. So I tend to think, in this instance, I think I know more than the average man. What it comes down to is when people use clickbait as a form. Now, 2 secs. If you clickbait to make money, there is nothing wrong with that either. If you clickbait to scaremonger to make money, and you know you're doing it, then that's where I've got the issue. I don't really have the issue with that either, unless it's in my back garden. There's a story on the Facebook pages. There was a story on the Facebook pages last week about pickpockets, and Tenerife's known. There are pickpockets all over Tenerife. They're everywhere. And somebody quite interestingly went, the 2 pickpockets that you normally see on the Golf, because the police don't tend to do much about it. The 2 pickpockets you normally tend to see on the Golf, I've just spotted them in a decky. So that tells me they've moved around. If you're a pickpocket, it's the right thing to do. Trouble is, if you're scaremongering in an area, let's say for example Los Chris, Paradise Park Hotel for muggins, and then you see on a forum that someone has just spent another 200 quid with Jet2 to move their holiday from Paradise Park to move over to Fania Bay area, what's to say that these muggers now haven't realised the heat's on them and they've decided to move off to Fania Bay? So in essence, you've moved your holiday into the next mugging hotspot, or not. And that's where the issue is for me. That's where the issue is for me. When we're all talking about clickbait, and a lot of people use Kevin actually at me. Kevin, Scotsman Tenerife, the world's worst. I'm like, no, Kevin's a tongue-in-cheek clickbaiter. I've got very bad news. We all know Kevin's last day. We know it's Kevin's last day. That's what it is, because it's tongue-in-cheek. That's what it is. That's my view on the clickbait. So look at these views, this here. There was a lot of comments about jealousy, about how I'm jealous of other people's channels, which, to be honest with you, is laughable. It is honestly, it's and the reason why it's laughable I'll explain in a second, but it makes me chuckle. Number one, I actually mentioned in the video, if you think it's jealousy, move on. Let's get this clear. Some of you might say straight away it's just jealousy. I assure you it's not. If you think it's jealousy, please do me a favour and do me the courtesy of unsubscribing, because that means you just don't understand me at all. You're just seeing it for, you're not prepared to look at another side of an argument. I think that's what I'd like to say about that. That's your first part. Second part about jealousy is that in the YouTube studio, I'm just going to wait here for a sec. In the YouTube studio, it studies and it tells you about keywords to use. Now, the biggest keyword for me that I can use in my arsenal here is the word Tenerife. Without a shadow of a doubt, Tenerife is the keyword I can use. Now, I did a bit of homework this morning. Out of 155 videos I've done, 20 odd of them were just like the learning Spanish and the stuff before the Just Rick channel really took off. And then out of the remainder, I think 133 videos, purposely, I only used the word Tenerife in 10 of them. I purposely only use the word Tenerife in 10 of them. I know Tenerife will get me more views, yet I purposely don't use it. So in 7% of my videos on the Just Rick channel, I've used the word Tenerife. And if you go to the main channel, the Rick and Shelley channel, you'll most probably find 7% of the videos, I don't use the word Tenerife. And the reason why I don't use the word Tenerife in those ones is because, yes, I am clickbaiting on Rick and Shelley on purpose. Because I'm trying to get Tenerife and Shelley, the name, together, so it's synonymous with each other, so it'll grow the channel of Rick and Shelley. So for those of you that said, I'm just jealous because the channel isn't growing as quick as others, if I wanted the channel to grow as quick as others, I'd put the word Tenerife in the title. But I don't. So unfortunately, that just dispels the argument. Or dispels the myth. That's the case. I'm in it for money. I'm in it for money. Come here. Come here. I'm in it for money. I earned €56 off that video. €56. You do the pound conversion. I can't be asked. Yeah, I'm in it for the money. This time next year, Rodney, we're millionaires. So that wasn't the reason why I did it. Somebody said to me, says maybe, what was it? Maybe if you stop doing dog walking videos and start doing other stuff, you might get more views. Maybe. But to be honest with you, if I just go in and slag restaurants off, or just go and slag areas off, I don't think Rollo's going to enjoy that. I don't think Rollo's going to like that at all. And I don't think he'll want to be part of it. What do you think, Rollo? I think that's a no from him. And the final bit I want to address is actually comes from a vlogger itself, where he turned around and he went, I got named actually. I got named. Rick just loves himself. It's the car salesman in him. He just loves himself. I'll tell you what, that's a bit controversial, isn't it? I hate that word. I hate that word. But as the famous philosopher RuPaul once said,
if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
If you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? I think he then did a slut drop, I'm not sure. He might have done a slut drop after that. I don't know. Do you know what it is? I'm just going to finish off with this. I think the vlog pushed the right buttons to the right people, and it made people think, this is a gorgeous island. This is beautiful. This place is amazing. Tenerife vloggers and people who want to film Tenerife have the opportunity to do fantastic for the island. The Tenerife Tourist Board should be thanking half of them, including the big ones. But as mentioned before, just like the boy band, when it starts going sour, it's nice to see you took my advice and decided not to do it anymore, unless that's clickbait and controversial. Till next time, guys, thank you so much. See you on the next one. All the best.